Hello, people of God. The full moon in the constellation of Virgo, ready to give birth in Passover. And I have an amazing prophecy I came across that is going to be incredible. I'm going to start by quoting Rabbi Kaduri. He had this amazing experience. He wrote a book, actually wrote a book, and about prophecies, stuff the Lord had revealed to him. And he hid this book, and I think it's his grandson that found it. And you're gonna be blown away by this, because he had a prophecy from a prophet he called a prophet, the prophet from Egypt, that it couldn't fit any more perfect right now. And the revelation of this prophecy is incredible. And let's read the findings that they did in Israel. This week, it was reported in Israel that the late Rabbi Kaduri wrote in a hidden book that was recently found in the yeshiva school of Nahalat. Yitzhak, named after the rabbi, war in heaven on Rosh Hashanah, and Messiah is at the door. Now, you need to understand that Rosh Hashanah refers also to Nisan 1. There is actually 4 Rosh Hashanahs in the Jewish calendar. You have a beginning of the spring, the beginning of the summer, the beginning of the fall, and then the beginning of the winter. You got actually 4 Rosh Hashanahs in the Jewish calendar. But the one that is head of the year is actually Nisan. Nisan is the one the Lord gave in the Bible as the counting of years. And that's the one we're going to go by, because that's the one that we are in right now. Check this out. It says, on the eve of the year 5780, which is the current year on the Hebrew calendar, the upcoming Hebrew year, the year of corrections, there will be no government in Israel for an extended period, and the various camps will be quarreling without a decision on either side. And then on Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, beginning Sunday evening itself, they will fight in heaven, the holy side against the side of evil. And God and his entourage will decide between them, and this is all I can say. And from here I swore not to reveal more secrets and hidden things. Now, the statements by Kaduri also reference excerpts from the ancient book, The Covenant of the Persimmon, by Kabbalist Rabbi Sasson Hai Shoshani, who Kaduri said was known as the prophet of Egypt. Shoshani said, check this out, this prophecy is incredible. There will come the day that 2 ministers win the government in the land of Israel. Both their names will be Benjamin, and neither of them will succeed in establishing their government or kingship. I was blown away by this, because I did not know that Benny Gantz's name was actually Benjamin. They call him Benny, but it's actually Benjamin. And it brought me back all the way to the book of Judges, where there are actually 2 groups. The first group in chapter 21, verse 12, they receive the 400 virgins. And then the second group in 21:21, according to the birth date of Benjamin Netanyahu, it's incredible. The second group then goes for the rapture of the virgins. There were not enough. The 400 virgins were not enough. So there was a second group that did not have. So you got 2 Benjamin groups there. And this prophecy matches right there. Not only that these 2 guys' names are Benjamins, but there are 2 groups of Benjamin in the book of Judges, chapter 21, when the rapture of the virgins happened by the tribe of Benjamin. Tribe of Benjamin rapturing the virgins. So it says, on that day, know and understand that the King Messiah already stands at the doorway, and on the Sabbath afterwards, he will come and be revealed. Shoshani statement continue, understand this and remember. Okay, this is an incredible prophecy, meaning the following Sabbath after they get together on this. Check this out because this is amazing. They are about to put that government together. They're on the final details. If it happens today, you know that at 6 o'clock Israeli time, the Sabbath begin. Then we will leave. But if not, then it will be the following Sabbath that guess which one it is. Resurrection Day. The 17th of Nisan, from Friday to Saturday, from twilight to twilight. This is incredible because it's following the same pattern. One thing I discovered is that, yes, they did cross the Jordan on the 10th, but on the 17th is when the commander of the armies of heaven he showed himself to Joshua, and Joshua got on his knees and he was told, take your shoes off, this is holy ground, and that's when he was given the details of attacking Jericho. And in 7 days, they possessed the promised land. Until then, they had not possessed the promised land. They had only crossed Jordan. But the promised land was really after that first kingdom that they took the land from Jericho. They destroyed So it was only unto the 17th that the commander of the armies of heaven showed himself to him, presented the plan of attacking Jericho. So it's always the 17th. Remember, the crossing of the Red Sea, the 17th, Ark of Noah, the 17th. So the commander presented himself to Joshua on the 17th, and Jesus resurrected on the 17th. It's more likely that we will be resurrecting on the 17th. I kind of lost a little bit of hope for today because they're right on the final details, but they haven't put together yet. Now, they say they want to put it together before Passover. That makes sense. The moon is in Virgo constellation, ready to give birth. Again, unbelievable. Now, there is a prophecy of the Lake of Galilee that the prophecy says that, when the Messiah was to be at the door, the lake was going to be full. And now, after a serious drought, it's full even to the level of 2004 when it was the highest it has been. And now even past the level of 2004, it's getting filled even by the day, even more, that they're talking about opening the gates into the Jordan to let some water go if it actually passes the red line. And so that prophecy is fulfilled. Now, God Healer 7, she said a prophecy on about April 6, 2019, which was Nisan 1st. And from there to the 17th of Nisan this year, which is the third day of the full moon, which starts on the twilight of the 10th to the twilight of the 11th, we got 370 days. And if you remember, Flight 370 is the one that disappeared. We are to disappear as well. That was a Boeing 777, the Flight 370 from Malaysia, and people disappeared. I always thought that had something to do with the rapture. This could be it. Now, the reason that I always pick the first part of the day is because the Bible talks about the midnight, and at midnight, and we know that Israel is the clock. So if Israel is the clock and it says at midnight, a cry was made, the husband is coming, come out and receive him, that means it should be about 5 o'clock Eastern time over here, because Israel is the clock. And if it's on midnight Israel, then it has to happen on the 10th, because at twilight on the 11th begins the 18th of Nisan. So that will happen on the 10th. It will be around 5 o'clock Eastern time. Then I guess it'll be 3 o'clock Central time. And the West will be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it will be a massive chaos around the world if that does happen. And what are the chances that we live on the same day of our Lord Jesus Christ. Well, I would say, he actually said a prophecy at the table when he was having the Holy Supper that he said, I will not have, this wine again until I have it with you again in the kingdom of heaven. So if that is to happen again, and we will finish Passover in heaven, woo, that will be incredible. And check this out. The unity government is near completion. So if it happens today, it will have to happen before the twilight that they completed. So the prophecy of the following Sabbath is on. If not, then it's definitely until the next Sabbath. Now, from the last election, they had a March the 2nd until the 17th, Resurrection Day, the 17th of Nisan. You got 40 days. Is that a coincidence? Man, this is very, very interesting. I remember that there's a prophecy that I have been following. The prophet of God, Elijah, which is about to start in Israel as soon as we leave. He saw himself celebrating Passover. But the thing is, this happened in 2019. He had different dreams, different visions. He saw himself in Israel. He saw the people that are going to be taking care of him, where he's going to live, the radio station that is going to transmit his messages, everything. And he was celebrating and dancing. But right now, Israel is in lockdown, and the Passover most likely is not going to be celebrated, but inside their houses. So the Passover that could be celebrated freely will be second Passover. And that could be the one that the prophet be celebrating over there. I thought about it. I was like, wow, it does make sense. Anyway, from the supermoon, blue moon, blood moon of January 31st, 2018 until the 17th day of Nisan, Resurrection Day, April the 10th to the 11th, you got 800 days. That's a very interesting number. Also from July 7, 17th, the meeting between Donald Trump and Putin, which Putin happened to be 777 months old on that very day that was 777, until the third day of Passover, Resurrection, that you have 33 months and 3 days. You got a triple trees, or 144 weeks. You know what 44 is, a very biblical number, and 333. So I think that we got something here. Two groups of Benjamin, the following Sabbath. The unity government is about to be put together. This prophecy about Rabbi Sasson Hai Shoshani is just amazing. It's incredible. And the book was a hidden book that was found. And, he called them. Remember, this guy was over 100 years old, 108 years old. He died. And he said that person that was called the prophet of Egypt, the prophecy was around 200 years old. And the two Benjamins, my goodness, Benny Gantz's name is Benjamin. They call him Benny. He's Benjamin as well. That is incredible. Incredible. The two Benjamins, I see the two groups of Benjamin in the book of Judges, right where the rapture of the virgins happens. It's incredible. I mean, I think this is it. I think we're actually living the very same day the Master rose from the dead, and the first fruits rose from the dead, because we are also the first fruits. We might just raise on the very same day. Amazing that 40 days from the last election, they finally have the details to put together the government, and the following Sabbath, which is Resurrection Day. 40 days is more likely that we live. The prophecy says that after they put together, after these two prime ministers, because they are two prime ministers, the arrangement is that the first half ruling by Benjamin Netanyahu, and the other year and a half, it will be Benny Gantz. He will be ruling as prime minister. So it's an arrangement where they will both be prime minister. This is amazing. Of course, the Great Tribulation is going to start, and the Antichrist is going to rule the world, and none of them will be anything. It's amazing. So this is all I got for now. Let us keep watching and waiting for our Lord. Until next time, God bless you all. Shalom.